northwest or toward the northwest. We've always had that graphic. I don't know which way it's going, but it's 30 to 35 miles per hour. Thought the hotel was coming down last night. Woke me up about 6 o'clock. Troy, you were in your palatial estate, all made of stone. I'm sure didn't even feel the effects of the wind.
Well, but as you can tell by the flag, I'll tell you, after spending many years playing in this stadium, it will not be a factor down on the field for these players. It's one of the great things about this stadium. Regardless of how much wind you're getting, it's not going to be a factor in the passing game.
If there is a passing game.
Come on.
It may just sort of be wham, wham, wham all day out here.
Is that what you're selling today?
I think so, and I'm going to enjoy it. I like watching big, physical, tough. It's going to be good.
John Fox, what a start for his career. Ow. Oh.
Troy, I'll give you $100 if you can do that right now.
I can do that. You want me to do it right now on the floor?
Rod Smart has been very good at doing what he's about to do, and that is return kicks. Number 3 in the NFC, averaging just over 25 yards per kick return. And Toby Goen is the punter and the guy who kicks it away. So we're glad you're with us. It should be an interesting day. Jake Delhomme, it has been interesting every time he gets the ball in his hands down the stretch. He has turned this Carolina team into the Cardiac Cats. Already needs smelling salts. Steve Smith must have gotten dinged in pregame warmups. What's that?
I think Steve Smith may do it just to try to calm himself down a little bit. He's a pretty high-strung individual. Heck of a player. Has been playing strong here as of late.
All right, away we go. 7-3 against 8-2. Smart. Lost it. An early turnover. Dallas says they have it. And now the scrum, the battle for the football. Brady James knocked it out. It belongs to the Cowboys.
Well, I thought special teams might have a big impact early. I didn't think it would have a negative impact for Carolina, but this is absolutely huge for the Cowboys. They have not been playing with very good field position at all. Only 2 of the last 57 drives have they started in the opponent's territory. And what a way to start this one.
Well, Bill Parcells stressed all week long how important field position was going to be. Turnovers playing a big part in this game because of the style of play of both these teams. Brady James coming down the field, knocking the ball out of Rod Smart, giving the Cowboys tremendous field position here on their opening drive.
One thing this Carolina defense has done this season, and again it was Brady James who knocked it out. The Carolina defense, when the offense has turned the ball over, has not given up a touchdown. Now this is the special teams turning the ball over, and right out of the gate the ball is sitting at the 18-yard line, and a golden opportunity for Quincy Carter and this offense to put up some points. They tossed a handbrake. Nowhere to go. Fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage will give him half a yard.
And Troy, I think it's so important for the Dallas Cowboys to do something with this great start. Of course, they got shut out last week against New England. They've been shut out 2 of their last 4 games. And offensively, I think they're losing a little bit of their confidence right now. They get a great break, need to take advantage.
Well, they've struggled getting the ball into the end zone. They've got great field position here. It'll be a very demoralizing series if they're not able to come away on this drive with the touchdown.
2nd down and a short 10. Carter brought down from behind. It was Peppers, and penalty flags fly at the end of the play. Julius Peppers was there to bring him down, and markers came flying in from all directions as that play came to a close.
Julius Peppers, he's working against Kurt Vollers, who's starting for Ryan Young at right tackle.
Personal
as you
foul,
see.
face mask, defense, number 90. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
There it is, personal foul. And that's half the distance to the goal, as was stated by Ed Hockley. He is our referee today. And it's a first down for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and what a good break for the Dallas Cowboys, because Quincy Carter had nowhere to go with the ball. Of course, he doesn't get much yardage on that play, but now due to the face mask call, they're first down.
Cowboys off to a great start, and they haven't done anything yet. They recover the fumble, they get the penalty, they take a sack, and yet everything appears to be going their way early.
Last 19 possessions for this Cowboy offense, 0 points. 1 touchdown in the last 8 quarters. They've been shut out twice the last 4 weeks. They hand off to Hambrick. Looked like he had a little opening, and then that opening closed in a hurry as Buckner put him on his back.
Whoa.
2nd down and goal. Let's take a look at this offensive line, and as Troy already mentioned, Ryan Young is out. It is a serious right knee problem. Kurt Vollers is in at right tackle, and Torrin Tucker is a guy that Bill Parcells likes a lot, and we should see some of him today. Galloway is back after missing last week with a left quad strain. Carter looking left, finds his tight end. The tight end Witten was hit immediately and brought down right at the spot of the catch. A gain of only 2. That'll bring up 3rd and goal. Let's take a look at the defense. You've got Rucker, Jenkins, Buckner, and Peppers, and according to Bill Parcells, this is the best front 4 in the National Football League, but the jury is out on the secondary.
I think Brinson Buckner went out of the game after that hit on Hambrick, holding his eye. Have to check on that.
3rd down and goal. This is Carter. Fake the quarterback draw. Throws. Incomplete. I think that would fall in the category of a trick play, as first Carter was going to duck down, and it looked like he was going to take it on a quarterback draw. Then he pulled back, tried to find his tight end. It wasn't there.
It's the old Dante Culpepper play. Go down and fake the draw and then pull up late and try and hit it. And looked like he was going to catch it, Troy. But the Cowboys ran people right into each other.
Yeah, they had 2 guys, Dan Campbell and Antonio Bryant, 2 receivers in the same area, which led to as much as any reason as to why that wasn't completed.
Instead, the field goal try, a 24-yard attempt, and after being handed the ball at the Carolina 18, Dallas comes away with only
symbol of freedom.
Welcome back to Dallas. Great work by the defense for the Carolina Panthers, and it was Deion Grant, a guy who, by the way, still has nightmares about the matchup with the Cowboys last year, who was led right into the play and right into the body of Campbell to knock it away. Well, we're back where we started, only this time it's 3-0 Dallas. And again, it's Rod Smart, who already has a fumble. And he dives down just shy of the 24. Let's go back to that 3rd down, 3rd and goal for Dallas.
Well, here's going to be the play right here. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, they draw somebody else into the coverage who ultimately is going to end up making the play. You don't want to draw this guy across the field because he ends up being the one that breaks up the pass. Good play by everybody. Poor design.
Philly on top of New Orleans 3-0 early. That's Stephen Davis. And that's the biggest weapon that the Carolina Panthers have. A gain of 11 and a 1st down for Carolina.
And that's how Carolina is going to try to attack this defensive team of the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to run right at them with Stephen Davis. They've got a strong, powerful offensive line. They'll pull them at times. They'll run the trap blocking. They'll run the zone blocking. But Stephen Davis is most comfortable running between those tackles and running downhill.
Why not give it to him again? Trying the right side, and he gets a big hit. Woodson ends up laying the wood to Davis. Let's go out for a game break and check in with JB.
Hey, Joe, and a good start for the Green Bay Packers on their first possession. Take a look at Brett Favre hooking up. My goodness, beating Jason Webster. That was Javon Walker. That, even with the bad thumb, as Terry Bradshaw pointed out, longest pass play of the year for the Packers. They're on top 7-0 over San Francisco. Back to Joe Buck.
All right, JB, it's obvious to see that Brett Favre is having a ball this year. First catch of the day for Smith. He's wrestled down a couple shy of a 1st down, a gain of 4. Let's give you a look at the guys stuffed into the helmets across the offensive line. And this is a group that, unlike the Dallas Cowboys and just about like any other team across the NFL, they've had the same group start every game, and that's important when you rely on your running game and somebody like Stephen Davis.
Well, there's no question none of these guys up front have missed a start, so the continuity has been there, and that's allowed them to run the ball the way they have.
3rd down and 1, play action. Delhomme has it tipped, and it's incomplete. Dat Nguyen got a hand on it, and it's time for a Panthers punt.
You know, and Dat Nguyen is probably playing as well as anybody on this team, not only on the defense, but the entire team. The guy is all over the field and just has a knack for making plays. They bring him on the blitz there. He's able to get a hand on the ball, and they had one-on-one outside. Jake recognized that, but he was unable to get the ball off because of Dat Nguyen.
You know, but why? You're 3rd and 1. You've got the best running back in football. Why not pick up the 1st down, keep your drive alive? I just don't understand the call.
Well, 4th and 1 last week. They went for 18 yards.
Sauerbrunn, one of the best in the business, drives Galloway all the way back just outside his own end zone. And you talk about a veteran making a terrible mistake. A 56-yard punt, a 2-yard ill-advised return. Wesley on the stop, and the ball will be marked inside the 5 at the 3. All week, Bill Parcells talked about this matchup and was concerned about special teams play. His veteran Joey Galloway just made a terrible mistake, fielding a punt inside his own 5. The ball is sitting at the 3. So backed up is this Cowboy offense, and the pass is complete to Witten. He is out to the 9, and Dante Wesley had to go through Plano, Texas to make this stop on Joey Galloway.
Well, when you watch the Carolina Panthers play on special teams, there's just a difference. There's a difference in the hustle. There's a difference in the intensity. And right now, a guy like Dante Wesley may have just tilted the game towards the Carolina Panthers.
Remember, the Carolina Panthers are playing without Gerard Cooper, who was suspended for 4 games, driving under the influence while on probation. And he was one of the Panthers' best special teams players. 2nd down and 4. They hand off to Hambrick. Hambrick is out to the 10, 3 yards shy of a 1st down.
Well, as we've seen all season long, Chris Jenkins on the defensive line for the Carolina Panthers is just a guy who can be overwhelming at times. And that time he got so much penetration, the Cowboys didn't even have a chance to execute the play. He's in the backfield just messing up everything. And Bill Parcells thinks this guy right here is the best defensive tackle in all of football, and there's not even a close second.
He is the new and improved Warren Sapp. 3rd down and 3. Hambrick running left, won't get there. In fact, lost a yard. Rucker on the stop. And this crowd is already frustrated with the Dallas offense.
Well, and the concern right now for the Cowboys has got to be on 2nd down. They ran the ball versus a 7-man front. Were unable to get any yards on that. They come back with the run on 3rd down. Carolina drops in the 8th man, anticipating the run, and then they stuff that one. And if the Cowboys are not able to run the football today effectively versus a 7-man front, they're going to be in for an awfully long afternoon.
Is Bill Parcells coaching too conservatively, though, with this offense?
No.
Goen gets rid of it, and it's an awful punt. And it backs up. It will be down at the 47.
And the reason he's not is because they don't have the talent to play any more aggressively than they are.
Jake Delhomme back to the field, down by 3. You may be surprised to know that the Carolina defense is ranked only 17th in the National Football League. The number 1 ranked defense in the NFL is on the field right now, the Dallas Cowboys, and that unit is the biggest reason why the Cowboys come in tied atop the East at 7-3. Stephen Davis bouncing it outside, and he's brought down at the 41, a gain of 6.
Well, when you watch the Carolina Panthers, all you have to do is follow the fullback. Now, they have a lot of different fullbacks. Chris Mangum, the tight end's one, Brad Hoover, Nick Goings, and they move them around. That's sort of the key to this running game. But whoever the fullback is ultimately will lead the ball carrier, Stephen Davis, through the hole. So if you watch the fullback, you'll know where they're going.
2nd down and 4. Right behind the fullback, Stephen Davis has a 1st down inside the 35.
And this really is where Stephen Davis is very good. You wouldn't think of it as a big back like he is, but he's got great feet and he's got great vision. As Chris pointed out, he's going to follow in behind Brad Hoover, but watch the cutback lane there once he sees it, and then the kick out that he has right here and allows him to get up inside and turn that into a pretty good run.
You know, they really use their tight ends like fullbacks too, so sometimes they have 2 fullbacks in the game, the fullback and the pulling tight end, which they use there.
And off to Stephen Davis, and he is hit by Glover. Good play by Leroy Glover, the 3-time Pro Bowler, a loss of 1. Let's go for a game break and check in with JB.
Hey, Joe Buck, as you know, Michael Bennett had been out for the first 2 months of the season. This is his first start for the Vikings, and he takes it 25 yards to pay dirt. His first touchdown of the season. Vikings trying to snap a 4-game losing streak on top, 7-0 over Detroit. Back to Joe, Troy, Chris, and Pam.
All right, JB, and we will see you in Detroit on Thanksgiving. The Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. That's Stephen Davis again, and it's been Stephen Davis one carry after another.
And it kind of gives you an idea as to how patient this Carolina offense is. It's 2nd and 11, and yet they're still very much committed to running the football and not getting into anything to where they're having to take chances throwing the ball.
You know, the thing I love, and there's Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, is how patient Stephen Davis is. This is a big move offense with their offensive line, but Stephen Davis never gets excited. He takes his times, and he makes some good runs.
3rd down and 6. Fifth Stephen Davis run of this drive, and he is stopped short.
Now that one I think is going a little bit too far. I don't mind the 2nd and long call. They're anticipating pass. The Cowboys are. You give them a running play, but now on 3rd and medium, to think that you're going to pick that up, I think Jake has removed any doubt as far as what he's been able to do throwing the football, particularly the last couple of weeks. I didn't care much for that call there.
Especially because they had man coverage on the outside.
Casey missed 2 of 3 last week, but he's still 22 of 24. 45-yard try. You've got a ball control offense. Penalty flag is on the field, and this could be interesting.
Even if it's running into the kicker, it still would be a 1st down.
It's back in the area of where the kick took place, and we'll just have to wait and see what the call is from Ed Hockley.
The defender was blocked into the kicker, therefore there is no running into the kicker foul. The field goal counts.
Terrence Newman, the one that ended up running into the kicker but blocked into the kicker, and a 45-yard attempt is good by Casey. The teams have traded field goals. 2 teams with expanding bandwagons going head-to-head here in Dallas. A few Dallas fans may jump off if this Cowboy offense doesn't figure it out. Dallas fans would have a tough time remembering that after 4 weeks, the Cowboys offense was ranked #1 in the NFL. This is Derek Ross. Big return by Ross. Forced out of bounds at the 49. Tillman finally made the stop after a return of 37 yards. Longest kick return of the season for Derek Ross. It gives the Cowboys in this offense good position as we're tied. Derek Ross in that 37-yard return puts the ball just shy of midfield. And the Cowboys, who have no touchdowns over their last 25 possessions and only 3 points over their last 21, go to work. Pass is complete to Bryant, trying to set up a screen for him with the tight end Witten He was out in front blocking. Morgan on the stop, a gain of 8.
Watch the way the wall right here is going to seal off this area on that side. And for Derrick Ross, there's nothing better as a kick returner than coming up and seeing 3 guys completely wiped out sideways. Now you're not having to pick and choose a hole. It's just straight ahead running.
Bad news for the Cowboys is Kurt Vollers, who was already in there replacing the injured Ryan Young, was first of all sitting, and now you see him with his hands on his knees, injured, and will have to come off the field. That means that Torrin Tucker
right there
will come in, and that's a guy that I know when Bill Parcells has talked to you and Chris, he said this guy's as talented as any young tackle I've ever been around.
Yeah, he really likes him, and that's saying something compared to some of the guys that he has coached over the years. But he's a young player, and Bill Parcells says he's big, he's strong, he's got great feet, and he's got a bad temper. All the things that you like to see in your right tackle, and he really feels that this guy's future is extremely bright.
It's no good, though, if that's your wife.
You know?
I mean, great feet, okay. Bad temper, that can make for an interesting life.
But he is a young man, and he doesn't have a lot of experience in this offense, and so it's going to be interesting to see just how he holds up against some of the best pass rushers in the NFL on the outside for the Panthers. 2nd
down and 2. Handoff is to Hambrick, and he is brought down at the 40, enough for a 1st down. And I know that your eyes and my eyes and your eyes were on Tucker trying to work against Julius Peppers.
Yeah, I don't know if he can pass block or not, but I know he can run block pretty well. It takes Julius Peppers and squares him off and completely drives him out of the play. Nice start.
Well, I think he'll be fine in run blocking, able to know who he's going to have and come off the ball and put a body on a body. In pass protection, that's when we're going to get a chance to see just how agile he is, as we mentioned, going up against whether it's Julius Peppers or Mike Rucker on the outside. He's going to have a real test here today.
You saw Philadelphia's out in front of New Orleans 10-0 early. Philadelphia and Dallas coming in tied atop the NFC East. They'll meet in a couple of weeks in Philadelphia. Pass is tipped and still caught by Galloway. Joey Galloway trying to make amends for that mistake on the punt return. A catch and a run of 18 yards.
Well, they finally got the safety in the middle, one-on-one on the outside, and Mike Rucker, it looks like 93, is going to be the guy who gets his hand on it, sure enough. But fortunately, they get a good reflection off of it, and Joey Galloway's able to make the catch. And Joey Galloway is someone who they're really trying to get more involved in what they're doing. He has not had more than 2 receptions in any one game since week 2.
This Dallas offense is starving for a touchdown. Bryant is drilled. That's Minter, who put the hit on Antonio Bryant. It was a clean hit, and the pass is incomplete.
Yeah, and that's really on Quincy Carter. You've got to hold the safety. They got the coverage that they were hoping to get. And Quincy Carter, as he drops back, he eyeballs this one the whole way. The only guy that can make a play is Mike Minter, the safety, and that's the one who comes over and puts the big hit on Antonio Bryant. And that's one of the areas that Quincy Carter has just got to improve on in holding the safeties and knowing where to go with the ball.
2nd down and 10. That was well timed by Minter, and now with Rucker coming, Carter gets out of his way, completes it to Anderson. Richie is hit and dropped immediately by Cousin. A loss of 3 on the play. Let's go for a game break. Here's JB again.
Hey, Joe, and Aaron Brooks' fumble, a 34-yard run by Donald McNabb sets up this 15-yard run by Brian Westbrook, his 9th touchdown of the season. Philadelphia on top of New Orleans by the score of 10-0 back to Joe Buck.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys will tell you, thanks JB, the Dallas Cowboys will tell you this game, a home game against Carolina, and then a Thanksgiving Day home game against Miami might determine they're going to hang in this playoff race and hang in the NFC East. They're at Philly after the game on Thanksgiving. Pass over the middle. Galloway wide open for the touchdown. The Cowboys are hungry no more.
Well, Troy, you asked for it, and that time he manipulated the safety. Got Minter right off with the pump fake. Came right down the middle to Joey Galloway, who was there on the first one as well. But by staring down his receiver, just made it too easy on Mike Minter. That time took full advantage of him.
Galloway gets his first touchdown since week 1. And it's 10-3. These 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys had been shut down in recent weeks. Quincy Carter gets it to Galloway in the end zone.
Well, Dallas goes to an empty backfield, and Carolina decides to play coverage with the 2 deep safeties. Joey Galloway right here. This is the safety here he's got to beat. Joey Galloway sticks him to the outside, bends it to the middle, and Quincy Carter anticipates the throw. Take another look at it as he works up on the safety, Minter, and it was just the route that got him open more so than any pump fake. Joey Galloway's speed holding Mike Minter in his tracks.
Looked like one of those maybe 4 cross coverages where you actually get some one-on-one situations, and by putting a guy like Joey Galloway in the slot, there's just no way. There's not a safety in the league that is going to have a guy like Joey Galloway running straight down the field with a 2-way go on him and going to be able to stop that play.
Well, I know that's what the Cowboys anticipated from Joey Galloway, and they brought him in 2 #1 picks in 2000, but a number of head coaches later, a number of offensive coordinators, and he's had to experience the changes that have been made at quarterback as well.
Well, they brought him in here for you. I mean, let's be honest.
Come on.
He was here for you, and now he's catching touchdown passes.
Yeah, but now I'm here for you.
I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Rod Smart is smacked.
Boy, there's Roy Williams. Oh, man. A lot of people think this guy is the next great one, and so do I. I wouldn't very casually compare anybody to Ronnie Lott, because I think he's one of the great ones of all times. But when you can take somebody running full speed down the field, hit him, and in the NFL make him go straight backwards, you just don't see that. That guy brings as big a load as anybody playing in the defensive secondary in football right now.
He drilled me, says Rod Smart. It's first down for Carolina, down by 7. Play action from Delhomme, and he's sacked. Leonardo Carson.
And this is what happens with Carolina, son. Because of their running game, they like to try to run everybody deep on routes. You're going to see all 3 guys going out on routes are going vertical down the field. Well, that's fine unless Jake Delhomme gets pressure, which he does here, and there's just nowhere for him to go with the football. There's no check down, and he just had to hang on to it and take the sack.
Second down and 16. And they run it. They ran the ball on 2nd and 11, their last possession. This time they handed to Stephen Davis on 2nd down and 16, and Leroy Glover was first to get there.
Yeah, and Leroy Glover is really the one guy that can cause some problems for this Carolina Panthers offensive line. They're big, they're strong, they're fast, they're physical. But if there's one guy that has the quickness to disrupt and make plays in the backfield, it's Glover. He's been around for a long time, Troy, but still has that athletic ability.
This smells of a 3-and-out unless Jake Delhomme and this Panthers offense can come up with a big play. And they hand it off. Penalty flag on the play. And a good open field tackle by Williams. But we'll check the marker. It's a hold against Carolina. Sure, it will be ignored, and it's time for the Panthers to punt.
It was such a great play by Roy Williams right there, because not only did he have man-on-man pass responsibility.
65. 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Well, if you want to know what they're trying to play, a field position game, and instead of putting the punt team out on the field for Carolina, it would have been 4th down. They're going to give the Panthers another shot as time is winding down in this first quarter. Granted, it's 3rd and 28.
Well, Parcells talked to us about this being a game of field position. Clearly, he's got confidence in his defense being able to hold them here.
Movement by the left tackle, Stussy.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Now the Panthers did not have to snap the ball before the first quarter was going to expire.
You know, the Panthers are out of their game right now. I know what they want to do. I know they want to try and throw on first down. They want to try and confuse this defense, but they're not doing what they do best, and they're not doing what John Fox talked to us about last night, and that is simply mashing this smaller Cowboys defense.
The Cowboys offense has a touchdown. They're first back in Dallas. Why is there a hole in the roof of this place?
As they say, legend has it, so the Almighty can watch his favorite team.
Well, you can all watch the Packers and Lions coming up Thanksgiving Day. The NFL on Thanksgiving Day, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Pre-game show, folks, will be with us at Ford Field.
What do you got there in your hand, Joe?
I have, sir, the gobbler. Oh, there it is.
How do you think the Almighty feels about that thing?
Now, some people across the country misunderstood what we were doing with this and thought that we were making fun of a post-game award, when clearly this is...
We're making fun of Chris?
Very
What do you say?
serious.
Huh?
All right, let's go back to football. Third down and 33. Fake toss, setting up a screen, but the play never happened. It's another procedure call.
Carolina ought to just punt here on third down.
False start. Offense, number 75. Half the distance to the goal, still third down.
You're kidding, I think.
I don't know that I am.
I remember Randall Cunningham one time, maybe it was against you guys, dropping back in the shotgun on third down or whatever and punted it about 90 yards to the other end of the field.
I mean, it's 3rd and 35. There's not a lot of plays to pick that one up. Right now, they will just try to get some yards and provide some room for their punter.
Obviously, at this point, turns out to be the right decision to accept that hold on third down earlier. Handoff is to Stephen Davis. That's by a little room time. And there's not much room with the punting unit coming on, and Todd Sauerbrunn, number 2 in the NFL, averaging over 45 yards per punt, needing one of his better efforts to help out his team.
You know, so far the number 1 defense in football is looking like it. The Cowboys coming out and really throwing off this Panthers offense. They just look unsettled right now.
Good punt by Sauerbrunn. Hang time is good. Galloway takes it in, stumbled a bit, gets it to midfield. 48-yard punt, 6-yard return. We'll all take a breath and get right now to the Dallas Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers. The Cowboys lead it by 7. Stephen Davis now has set a single season rushing record for the Carolina Panthers franchise, as he has 1,121 yards. Again, the Cowboys throw on first down, and the pass is broken up by Ricky Manning. Galloway, the intended receiver, and I now intend to throw it down to Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe Buck, Cowboys have been juggling offensive linemen all season, and they're about to do it again. Now it's tackle Kurt Fallers, who's on the shelf. Fallers went into the locker room, and he's just coming out as I give you this report. They're saying he's got a lower back contusion. I saw him walk up the tunnel, Joe, very steep here at Texas Stadium, as you know, and he was obviously hurting and forced to lean on a trainer half his size.
Thanks, Pam. Carter airs it out. Galloway. Incomplete. Now, earlier in this game, Chris.
Yes, sir.
I said, is Bill Parcells and are these offensive coaches calling too conservative of a game? And you couldn't wait to say no, because they don't have the talent. Well, they've thrown the last 5 times on first down, and now here on second down, they air it out down the field for Galloway.
Well, because they're getting the coverage they're looking for. As long as Carolina is going to sit back in their soft look, that cover 2 look, they're going to keep running it at him. What we've seen the last couple of plays, though, they're coming up in man coverage, and Quincy Carter and Sean Payton are going to say, okay, you're going to try and play our guys one-on-one. We'll take that matchup.
Yeah, well, third down and 10. Carter's under pressure, sidesteps it, has Bryant. He was wide open, trying to make a move, but he's forced out shy of first down yardage. He did all he could, but he's out of bounds a yard short. Deion Grant forced him out.
You know, Quincy was a little late on this throw because of pressure, but when you watch Antonio Bryant make this catch, once he catches it, he's got to get going north and south and know where the chains are. He's dancing around, but he's not going anywhere. And then it was too late in the defensive pursuit. Gets there before he's able to pick up that first down.
Despite the urging of this crowd, the Cowboys will not go for it on 4th and 1.
Well, and we saw the second down play that you were referring to when Quincy took the shot down the field. He has missed those opportunities here over the past few ball games, and those are the chances when you get the one-on-one and you get a guy beat, you have to be able to connect on those.
Going, trying to down it inside the 20 for the 18th time this season. Smith will back up and haul it in around the 10. And that's where they'll mark it at the 10-yard line. Carolina gets it back. They're down by 7. The crowd's into it. See the average starting field position from their own 10. Pushing the pile to the 14 is Brad Hoover. Special teams. Bill Parcells wanted to talk about that all week. An early mistake by Rod Smart on a fumble, then a mental mistake by Galloway accepting that punt near his own end zone. The long return by Derek Ross of 37 yards set up this, a 24-yard touchdown throw to Joey Galloway.
So basically we have the Cowboys +1 in special teams. 2 negative plays, 1 positive play, and really that's the difference.
You keep that. 14-0 Green Bay on top of San Francisco. Davis looking for somewhere to go. He gets it to the 16, a gain of 2.
Geno James that time pulling out in front, but Davis cutting all the way back behind the grain. They had the fullback, they had Geno James out in front, and for some reason I couldn't see it from this angle exactly why he had to opt to go back door, but there really wasn't anything there.
Davis is split out at the top of your screen. Dan Wynn is out there covering him. Movement along the line of scrimmage again.
Muhsin Muhammad on the outside flinched.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And this is what we haven't seen out of the Carolina Panthers this year. They've been a disciplined team. They haven't made big mistakes. They've been able to rely on their running game and on their defense. But right now, they just seem to be unsettled. I don't know if it's, you know, maybe Troy a little bit like Dallas was when they went down to Tampa for that first big game they had all year, and they didn't play very well.
Yeah, but Carolina has been in some big games. The game they had against Tampa just a couple weeks ago, and obviously more pressure coming into this one.
3rd down and 9. Delhomme has his arm hit as he let it go. Incomplete. Ellis.
Greg Ellis working against the rookie Jordan Gross on the outside. A very veteran play is just going to drive him back into the quarterback and look for the arm. He's not going to try and make the hit, just going to deflect the arm. Big play by Greg Ellis.
I know Greg Ellis was at the facility on Saturday watching a lot of extra film on Jordan Gross. Has tremendous respect for this young rookie and what he's able to do, and was trying to come up with some ways as to how he could beat him and get pressure on the quarterback.
It's about time people respect how good this Dallas defense is. Galloway from inside the 40. Collapses outside the 45. They're going to mark him at the 46. A return of 5 yards. Hoover on the stop. 10-3 Dallas, and they've got the rock.
Is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Offensive line talks about it for Carolina. Stephen Davis, the Panthers' big back, has been in 5 games at Texas Stadium, has never won. Averaging only 3.8 yards per carry. Avion Cason is in the backfield for Dallas. Kurt Vollers is back at right tackle, and Cason, who's kind of a change of pace back, runs into Dan Morgan after a gain of 2, and let's go out for a game break. Here's JB.
Hey, Joe, despite 2 picks thrown already, look at Brett Favre here out of the eye, hooking up with Robert Ferguson. 16-yard strike. 10th straight season with 20 touchdowns or more that ties Dan Marino. 20th touchdown pass of the season. 14-0. Packers back to Joe Buck.
James Brown, thanks.
Guess his thumb's okay, huh?
Yeah, and the Packers, I tell you, they're starting to get a little momentum behind them.
Chris Jenkins came across early. Was he drawn off?
Well, he was. He was drawn off by Quincy Carter. And that's really a great job by Quincy Carter using the hard count.
Encroachment, defense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I mean, you have to be able to use this as a quarterback. You've got to make the hard count your friend, particularly when you're going up against a dominant front four like what Carolina has. I would expect to see more of that. And from what I can tell, it's the first time Quincy Carter has used the hard count in this game.
And a pretty classy play by him by not using the head bob. You know the officials would have been looking at that, but he kept his head still so it wasn't against him.
6 penalties already against Carolina. On second down, that's Campbell. What a hit and tackle by Minter, but it's a first down, a gain of 5. How about the attention that Chris Jenkins gets along that defensive front?
And should. Anytime you're playing against the Carolina Panthers, if you don't get this guy secured, you just don't have a chance to do anything. And so they're going to block him with their front side and their back side. Turn around and give him a little booty bob. Is that a football term?
It's good enough.
Get so technical. Handoff is to Cason. Avion Cason has got a first down as he gets to the 30, a gain of 12. Here's a guy, Cason, who hasn't been active for the last 3 games. Everybody in the world expected the Dallas Cowboys to use more of Adrian Morrell, but they cut Morrell this week, and Cason becomes the top backup, and he's a little quicker than Troy Hambrick.
Yeah, and the reason that Avion Cason is playing is for that very reason. Adrian Morrell, Bill Parcells really likes Adrian Morrell, but they were just lacking some speed and quickness and a game break type guy, and they're hoping that Avion Cason can be that guy for him today.
Cason gets it on a toss, and he is hit and brought down. A loss on the play, Julius Peppers.
Yeah, there's just no substitute for speed. I mean, there's just no way for most defensive ends to make that play from behind. We're talking about the speed and the renewed ability of the Cowboys to get outside with Cason, and all of a sudden you end up with a guy who's 6'6", 283 pounds running down one of your fastest running backs.
Julius Peppers, 6'6", 283. NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year last year with 12 sacks. Suspended 4 games. Carter is hit. It's off the hands of Campbell and nearly picked off. Witherspoon had it go through his hands, and there was pressure by Peppers again.
Well, Peppers was disruptive now for 2 consecutive plays. They're trying to block him with a tight end, Dan Campbell, and he just goes right by him, and Dan's thinking he's going to get a little bit of help from Kurt Vollers, but regardless, it wasn't enough time for Quincy Carter to be able to deliver the ball. They were going to hold Campbell up, show blocking, and then come out on a little bit of a screen. They just didn't have time because of Julius Peppers barreling down on Quincy Carter.
They're right at the edge of field goal range. Would be a 52-yard try from here. That's Cundiff's career long. Over the middle, too high for Glenn. Terry Cousin was coming on a blitz. It's 4th down.
Yeah, it was Cousin coming hard, and Quincy Carter just barely got that ball off. It's one of those things that if your quarterback gets just a little bit more time, he's able to sit back. Look at Quincy. He was looking right at him. He saw it coming, and he knew he just had to get that thing out of there. Terry Glenn needed just about another step to clear.
Well, and the reason for that is because Quincy, when he drops back, he takes a hitch at the back of his drop, which is why he's late on that throw. He sees it the whole way, but he's got to get it out and get it into Glenn's hands quicker.
Instead of a long field goal try, it's a punt by Goen. Smith will let it go over his head, and it takes a hop into the end zone. So instead of trying a 52-yarder, which would equal a career long for Cundiff, Parcells elects to punt it. They start him young around here, and this Dallas Cowboy team needs a win. They know Philly is up on New Orleans. The Cowboys come in tied atop the NFC East at 7-3. Stephen Davis right up the middle to the 25. Pam Oliver. Pam Oliver
All right, Joe, Carolina with all of -1 passing yards and just barely 50 yards rushing is not having what you'd call a stellar offensive day. Joe, you mentioned Stephen Davis a while ago. Well, the usually quiet Davis gave his O-line an earful when they came off the sideline. The essence of the conversation, getting our stuff together or we're going to lose.
Bam, thanks. 2nd down and 5. Right now, the Panthers have passed for -1 yard. Trying to change that is Delhomme. And that is perfectly played by the veteran Woodson, with Mangum, the tight end, the intended receiver.
Well, and that's only the 4th pass that Jake Delhomme has attempted in this ball game. And the Cowboys are coming up with a lot of 8-man fronts, which is what they do. Obviously, they're going to do everything they can to stop Stephen Davis. You got Darren Woodson on Chris Mangum, and that's a matchup that favors Dallas. But there's other things when they come up with this man-to-man coverage. You got to run some breaking routes, some crossing patterns, and I just feel right now they need to put a little bit more of the game in Jake Delhomme's hands, because that's what the Cowboys are giving him.
Coming on a blitz. That includes Williams, and a jump ball from Muhammad. Looking for a flag, won't get it. Newman on the coverage. And Roy Williams came flying up the middle and forced that flutter pass from Jake Delhomme.
Well, we get Roy Williams coming on the blitz out of the safety position here. And what we had in the backfield was blitz coverage, just the same thing that Newman got burned on last week against the New England Patriots twice. And yet on this one, able to get the job done.
Sauerbrunn. Another good punt. Galloway. Wow. The ball comes out, but they're going to blow the play dead. Dante Wesley, who made the hit and the tackle on Galloway back near the Cowboy end zone in the first quarter, downfield to make this hit.
I think Joey Galloway is going to go over the sidelines, tell him he's done returning punts. I mean, nothing's good happened yet.
That Dante Wesley's a stud.
So Wesley's made his presence felt on special teams. Delhomme and the offense trying to figure it out for Carolina. And coming up, Fox Tuesday from America's #1 show. Don't miss the country's hottest singers performing all the holiday classics. Clay Aiken, Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, Tamira Gray, and many more in an all-new special. An American Idol.
It was fun.
Anyway, first down Dallas. And Kason broke free of a tackle from Jenkins, but ends up picking up just back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Favors on the final hit.
Well, and we've talked about it already in the early part of this game, and this front four for Carolina, and really that is the entire strength of this defensive team. The linebackers are a good group, not a great group. Dan Morgan, a good player. The secondary is average, but this front four is what really sets the tempo for this entire unit.
That's where all the money is on this defense for Carolina. Carter fires, the pass complete to Glenn, and Glenn has a first down. Carter just got it away, and Terry Glenn makes his first catch of the afternoon.
And Terry Glenn with a very disappointing performance in New England. Really it was overall for this offense, but especially for the wide receivers. Antonio Bryant dropped a couple of balls. They didn't have Joey Galloway, and I really feel like these Cowboys receivers, who played so well early in the season, had something to prove today because of their performance a week ago.
San Francisco on the board now at Lambeau Field. 14-3, Green Bay on top. First down Dallas, and on the ground it's Kason, who was taken over the running back spot from Hambrick. Morgan was first there, no gain. Reggie Howard gets credit for the tackle.
Well, I know right now Dallas is trying to do a lot of different looks in the way that they're trying to run the ball. They've run the counters, they run the power, they've run the cutbacks, and so far they've just not really been able to get a whole lot going because of the speed and because of the way that these guys up front have been able to dominate the line of scrimmage.
They really have a weakness in trying to run the ball outside. There's just parts of the field they can't attack with their running game.
Movement by Kason, the running back. We didn't hear it. I don't know how he dug that flag out that quickly, but he did, and it's 2nd down and 15.
Well, and one thing we do know about Dallas is that even when they're not running the ball effectively, they're still going to continue to try to run the ball. Only Carolina has more runs per game than this Dallas offense.
First penalty for the Cowboys, 2nd down 15. Out of the backfield, Kason. And he is popped by Terry Cousin.
Well, up front, you have one of the great battles going on. Chris Jenkins working against Larry Allen. Larry Allen, clearly the dominant offensive lineman really the past 10 years, and they're getting the best of what Bill Parcells considers the best current defensive lineman in the game.
And I think Larry Allen does a good job when he's got a body right on him. He knows that that's the guy he's blocking, and he can use his strength against his opponent's strength. Where Larry Allen has struggled this season is when he's had to use quickness and lateral movement to get on guys. He hasn't been the same player.
Dallas has to spend it
to be actually where a receiver wants it to be, and if he's able to make that catch, they pick up the first down.
And he's working against a rookie in Ricky Manning. That's the matchup they want to focus in on all day, but you got to make the catch.
Beautiful punt by Goen, and it will head out of bounds. On that missed opportunity by Bryant, he had Parcells standing right behind him when he couldn't come down with that catch, and then when Bryant popped up, Parcells was right there to pat him on the back. So there's no doubt, guys, Bryant has a ton of talent. Parcells clearly recognizes that, and he's kind of been his project this season to try to get the most out of him.
Yeah, you're right, and Parcells has said, I'm not going to give up on this kid. I mean, he knows that he's got a tremendous amount of ability, and somehow he's like a wild stallion, you know, and they're just trying to break him somehow and get him to relax and calm down, but he does have a lot of ability.
He may be having a little confidence crisis right now, though. You need to start making some plays just to build your own confidence back up.
Panthers offense could use some confidence. Stephen Davis is hit and dropped in the backfield. Loss of 1 on the play.
Well, the Panthers are trying to spread this thing out a little bit to make it look like a run, but as soon as they do that, you see the linebackers and the safeties and Roy Williams and Al Singleton, they're attacking the line of scrimmage on first down. They really want to put the ball in Jake Delhomme's hand, and Jake knows it. He said, hey, nobody's sitting out there going, we got to stop number 17. They're saying we got to stop number 48 in order to beat the Panthers.
Well, yeah, and Carolina can do whatever they want as far as formationing to try to give the appearance and window dressing they're going to throw the ball, but Dallas knows they want to run it. Carolina has to throw it in order to get them out of some of these looks.
On 2nd down and 11, Delhomme over the middle, throws too high for Mangum. We saw that cast on the sideline. That is more of the speed back for the Carolina Panthers, Deshaun Foster, who broke a bone in his left hand. They worked him out prior to the game. There was a chance he could play, but he is not active for this one in Dallas.
They could use some of his speed out there in this game too, because right now the Cowboys linebackers and defensive backs are too fast for the skill position guys of the Carolina Panthers. That has been the difference thus far.
Yeah, and Carolina's been faced with a lot of 3rd and longs, and here they are at 3rd and 11.
Looks like we've got that blitz coverage coming again. Now they're coming out of it.
Delhomme down the middle of the field. Ricky Prohl. Prohl has a first down catch, and they're going to mark him down at the 35.
Well, and Jake Delhomme, how many times over the last few weeks have we seen this look? Jake Delhomme dropping back, he gets pressure, he's got someone in his face grabbing his jersey down, and yet he's still able to get the ball out. Ricky Prohl running a good route, getting Terrence Newman turned around, and Jake delivering a perfect ball.
It's the 2nd time in 2 weeks, though. A little bit of an underthrown ball has gotten Newman off balance. Obviously tough anytime you're one-on-one going down the field, but a play he's going to have to make.
Biggest play of the day for Carolina. And a little flea flicker. Muhammad, the intended receiver. It's incomplete, but a penalty flag on the play.
You know, and Muhsin Muhammad did a great job there. There was nowhere to go with the football. Muhsin Muhammad slowed down enough to get Roy Williams on his back and then get the pass interference call. You're going to see it here. He's running along, and Muhsin slows down just enough.
Not playing the ball.
He gets
the
the
ball
call.
placed at the at the spot of the foul, which is in the end zone.
And he's trying to stay off of his back. You can see him with his arms up. What a tough break for the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, but really, Muhammad's the one that initiated the contact, not Roy Williams.
Didn't look like a good call on that replay at all. But the Panthers catch a break. Falling as he hands it off. Delhomme gets it to Stephen Davis. No gain on the play. 2nd and goal.
You know, the one thing about it, though, as I continually talk about, it's the passing game that creates big plays that allow you then to get in position to make points. We saw the big pass play that Jake Delhomme makes to Ricky Proehl. They come right back to get the pass interference call, but it was all set up primarily from the long throw to Ricky Proehl.
The number 2 defense in the NFC. Defending the red zone. The Dallas Cowboys line up on 2nd and goal. Davis is in for the score. Touchdown Carolina. And for Stephen Davis, his 7th touchdown of the season. And Ricky Proehl, who has only 17 catches with the Carolina Panthers, but
all big.
You ask the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you ask the Dallas Cowboys here today, they are all important.
Yeah, they are. And that drive right there just sucked a little of the air right out of this stadium.
Well, this is Carolina Panthers football. This team just keeps hanging around. They're always in close games. They never blow anybody out. But they're a scrappy bunch.
Anybody in the booth favor instant replay on pass interference calls?
I certainly do.
You know I do.
That was a huge call for Carolina against Dallas. It set up the touchdown run by Davis to tie it.
Going to be able to lead a football team by talking to the offensive line, and the offensive linemen here love that guy.
This is Kaysen right up the middle, out to the 40, but a penalty flag comes flying at the end of the play. And it's against the Dallas Cowboys. That will wipe away a good return by Avion Kaysen.
During the return, holding by the receiving team, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Dallas keeps the ball. 1st down.
Tyson Walter guilty.
And it'll be interesting to see now if it shifts the strategy for Bill Parcells. Obviously, out around the 35-yard line, they would have taken some shots and tried to score. Now backed up around their own 20. I'm not so sure that Bill Parcells will be as aggressive.
You know, you just kind of wonder what the confidence level is of a guy like Jake Delhomme after he's done what he's done the last couple of weeks, bringing his team back. Of course, he did that in the season opener as well. And in the eyes of his teammates and how they view him, and they now know that this is a quarterback that when the game's on the line, he has the ability to bring them back. And you see it each and every week, the confidence growing.
Torrin Tucker back in at right tackle for Dallas as they set up the pass to Richie Anderson. And Anderson is wrapped up and brought down just shy of the 30. 2-minute warning, 1:57 remaining. A good one in Dallas. We're tied at 10. Thanks to that sign, Chris Collinsworth now realizes that 2 days ago was Troy's birthday.
And yesterday was your wife's birthday.
Yes, it was.
Happy birthday to all.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ann.
I have tried to bring you two together, and as much as I can, but you're going to have to step out on your own and get to know the guy sitting next to you. Can't hold your hand the whole time.
Do what you can, Joe. Will you do what you can?
Jeez. Jake Delhomme, I thought it was funny when he talked about playing in NFL Europe. He said, I was playing behind Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
And I called home. I said, Mom and Dad, this guy's kind of good.
And I don't know if they believed him until Kurt won an NFL MVP award.
On 2nd and short, Carter has it hit, and somehow it's still complete to Jason Witten for a 1st down. That is 2 passes in this half that Carter's had hit at the line of scrimmage that ended up on target.
Boy, I really like the route that time by Jason Witten. That's a very sophisticated route run by a young tight end.
Blitz coming from Carolina, and there's another drop by Bryant.
Wow.
Pats on the back and all. That is going to wear out Bill Parcells.
Yeah, right now he just does not have a lot of leeway, and that was a throw that was behind him. It was a pass that was not out in front, not an easy catch, but it's one that an NFL receiver should make. He's got the slant route. Carolina brought the blitz. Quincy Carter sees it, so does Antonio O'Brien, but they're not able to capitalize.
Handoff to Richie Anderson. He's out to the 49. A 3 yards shy of a first down, and with 1:22 remaining, Dallas now will use their first timeout of this half. So plenty of time left with 2 timeouts remaining for the Cowboys. On the march, the ball right at midfield. Carter over the middle. Glenn overthrown, and Glenn's looking for a flag. He won't get it.
Now, these cornerbacks for the Panthers have really never been considered the strength of this football team, but I've been pretty impressed with what they've done out here today. Terry Cousin working in the slot against a really speedy Terry Glenn, and just is all over him. I mean, you just can't ask for it any better than that. And I always thought playing wide receiver, the greatest advantage you could have was being in the slot, because you got a two-way going to guy, but Cousin all over it.
But at the half, Minnesota leading by only 7 over Detroit. That's Smith. Decided to pick it up, give it a shot, and he's brought down at the 10 by Keith O'Neill. But did save some time if the Carolina Panthers want to be ultra aggressive here. And as you said earlier, put the ball in the game in essence here at the end of the first half in Jake Delhomme's hands.
Yeah, but I don't think this is the time to do that. You're going up against the #1 defense in the league on the road, backed up. I've got to believe Carolina is going to be very happy going in at halftime with a tied up score of 10-10.
But, you know, they may come out with a screen, a draw, something like that, and if they could pick up 10, 15 or so, they've got all 3 timeouts remaining, then take a shot.
Toss to Stephen Davis. That wind came flying in on the tackle. A loss of 3.
I think he's had a great year. I really do. I keep watching him, and I keep hearing Bill Parcells, and people say, well, he's too small, he's too this, he's too whatever. That guy's faster than running backs. Yeah, he's too good. That's what he is.
But he's got such great speed, and the guys up front, like Leroy Glover, they've done a good job of keeping linemen off of him, so he's able to pursue the ball. A couple years ago, he was always in position to make plays, but he never really finished the job. And then this year, as well as last year, he's really matured as a player, and he's been outstanding.
2nd down and 12. And playing conservatively, and no surprise after that play on 1st down.
Now the Cowboys take a timeout.
15 seconds remaining. And the 2nd timeout taken by Bill Parcells. Cowboys with a timeout remaining. Wow. Are they pursuing, and now they'll take the timeout.
That's a mistake by Carolina from the standpoint they didn't get the ball out far enough. Now they're going to have to punt it. Now you're going to see one of the most unusual plays in the National Football League. If you fair catch a punt, you are allowed a free kick. So right now, because of the timeout, the Cowboys can drop back, fair catch the kick, and then their field goal kicker gets to line up at that spot and attempt a field goal. You very, very rarely see this. I've never actually seen it during the course of a game. Here's the opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys to pull it off.
Yeah, we actually did it in '99 with Chan Gailey. It was the first time I was even made aware of that rule. It didn't work for us. We didn't make it, but it's something that a lot of coaches don't understand, that if you are to run out of time, if you fair catch it, you do have the ability to have 1 free kick and try to make the field goal.
Well, here's what I think you have to do is you have to find a way to get it past the kicker. Don't let him fair catch this ball, whether you hit a line drive that dribbles, that rolls, whatever the case may be. Don't let him make a fair catch.
Well, you've got a guy in Todd Sauerbrunn who is looking for his 3rd consecutive punting title. 51-yard average today, and the Panthers need a good one out of Sauerbrunn. And now Carolina will take a timeout. So 10 seconds remaining. And all on. Bill Parcells and Bruce DeHaven trying to figure out how the Cowboys can get a chance for points.
There's only one guy back, though. I would have put guys out here to try and catch a punt anywhere on the field.
Cowboys are also going to come after Sauerbrunn. And it's a line drive punt. Galloway takes it in, called for the fair catch. But that line drive punt gets the ball all the way back into Dallas territory. And now with 3 seconds remaining, forget the field goal, it's going to be Hail Mary time.
He'll set an NFL record if he kicks a field goal from here.
Yeah, I'll say. It is a chilly day here in Dallas. As we mentioned at the start, a real windy day. But Troy, I don't know who I could have better sitting next to me, except for maybe Roger Staubach, who's a couple of booths away.
We'll bring him in
to ask about the wind effect. And you've said that there is none down there on the field.
A day like today is really the best time to be playing in Texas Stadium when you got the winds like we've got. Yeah, it's not a factor for these guys.
I mean, it is howling outside. A shot down the field for the Cowboys. Penalty flag on the play as Carter lets it fly, and in the end zone it's picked off. But there is a flag on the play. It's laying along the sideline. Deion Grant is the one that comes away with it. And we'll get the call from Ed Hockley.
Can't end on a defensive foul.
Illegal formation offense. Number 77 was not on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. The half is over.
Time to take a break.
Bill blows deep balls, a little bit lucky down the field as well to get the pass interference.
Yeah, but because of those, that's why they were able to get the points.
Exactly. That's a good point.
Line drive kickoff by Sauerbrunn, and this is Kason, who fumbled it initially, picks it up, gets hit hard by Lester Towns and knocked down to 30. The halftime stats, and you heard Jimmy Johnson did not even have to look down at his notes, recalled that Carolina had 80 yards of total offense in that first half.
Yeah, and I think what Howie Long said was right on, that this is a team in Carolina that has done their most damage offensively in the second half. Whether that's Stephen Davis running the ball or, more importantly, Jake Delhomme throwing the ball, I would expect the same type of effort here in this second half.
From their own 30, pass is toward Terry Glenn. He was going more upfield, and the pass was out toward the sideline.
I think what was pretty indicative of what was happening in the first half, though, both these teams 1 of 7 on third down conversions. So there were some big plays that were happening down the field, but neither team able to sustain anything offensively. And probably the winner in that battle would have been Dallas, because Carolina, with their running game, you would have expected to have moved the ball a little bit better and a little bit more consistency.
Hambrick is back in the backfield for the first time in a long while. And he gets it on second down. Brought down by Rucker for a gain of 4.
Well, and just what we expected coming into this game, the Cowboys are trying to run the ball, but they're just not having much success doing it. Avion Kason, 5 rushes, 10 yards. Hambrick, 6 rushes, 8 yards. And they're doing it. Carolina is stopping this Dallas running game with 7 guys. And so they're able to play coverage with a 2-deep shell, which only compounds the problems for Dallas trying to move the football.
3rd down and 6. Carter backs up as he throws. He hits Witten, and Witten has a first down for Dallas.
I like this kid.
And so do the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I really think he is very sophisticated running routes. That time going down, getting some contact, and then pushing back off and creating the opening. That's what Quincy Carter hasn't had a lot of. It's a pretty simple way of doing things, but you have to be very patient on the route. I wouldn't have him out of the ball game for very long.
I'll tell you, Witten's a tough kid, too. A few weeks back, he broke his jaw. Blood was everywhere. He came over to the sidelines. Parcells sent him back in. He played the rest of the game with a broken jaw.
Then missed only 1 game. On first down, this is Hambrick. Going to run left, then cut it back up the middle, a pickup of 2. A lot of movement along the line of scrimmage for the Dallas Cowboys, with offensive linemen pulling on that play.
Well, and I've seen this happen to the Cowboys offensively in the running game before. Anytime they're playing against a real speed defense, you tend to be able to catch them coming off the corners. I saw Tampa Bay do it to them, and that time I saw Michael Rucker do it as well. It's very slow developing, and it gives you a chance to make the hit in the backfield.
Packers are winning. The Lions have tied Minnesota in their game at the Metrodome. That's our matchup on Thanksgiving. Minter in the face of Carter, and the pass is complete to Campbell. And just to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe pick up half a yard, far better than what the Cowboys were looking at, which would have been a huge loss on that blitz by Minter.
Great job by Quincy Carter being able to get the ball out, and he had to have had thoughts of what happened to him last week on a similar play. He threw it out to Witten that got intercepted last week. This time he's able to get it out and at least avoid a big loss.
Turkovac has to be sick. He makes the perfect call. He has the perfect play on the bootleg. He quarterback with his back turned, and he still can't get a sack out of it.
3rd down and 8. Blitz coming from Carolina. The pass is off the hands of Bryant and incomplete.
Wow.
And Antonio Bryant, his confidence is way down, and he'll have to go back and face Bill Parcells on the sideline.
Well, and one thing, Carolina does not like to expose their secondary, but yet they've done that a lot today. You can tell that the corners feel like they match up very well with these Cowboys wide receivers. And another ball coming off the hands of Antonio Bryant. That's 3 again today that he had opportunities to make plays on.
Goen gets rid of it, and Smith waits for it. On a hop, Steve Smith. That'll be a face mask.
A big one, too.
Dexter Coakley was the first one down there. And we'll see who the call is against. It's against Dallas on a face mask, and if it's the 15-yarder, that'll take the ball all the way up to the 35.
Steve Smith's lucky he has his head still on. That was a little Linda Blair routine right there.
During the return, personal foul face mask by the kicking team. Number 62, 15-yard penalty. Carolina keeps the ball, 1st down.
So it is Dexter Coakley. He grabbed the face mask of.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the H2 at Hummer.com. Hummer like nothing else.
Nice of Troy to allow a camera crew to get into his backyard as we watch a 1st down throw. Steve Smith, the intended receiver. He can't come down with it inbounds. Tried to adjust to it, but both feet came down on the line. Mario Edwards on the coverage for Dallas.
Very close by Mario Edwards to getting called for pass interference on an arm bar. Watch the way he sticks his left arm out before he turns his head and really almost pushes Smith to the boundary and out of bounds. That's one of those that's very borderline.
And Steve Smith has got to give Jake Delhomme some room to throw the ball, or Jake has got to at least try to keep that 5 yards from the sideline so that if you are able to make the catch, you're not making it out of bounds.
We will see how Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, adjusts to what he's seen from this Dallas defense so far. The adjustments made at halftime, and the pass is complete. That's Smith on the right side, the far side of the field, and he has a Carolina 1st down.
Well, that time Steve Smith was able to rub off and get Mario Edwards picked off. He goes in motion across the field, and then they're just going to rub Edwards off as he tries to follow him into the flat. Nice job there by Musa Muhammad, I believe it is, just going up the field and not initiating contact but running his route.
And people would say, well, why doesn't Mario Edwards go underneath that pick? But if you go underneath and Steve Smith runs the wheel route up the sidelines, he's wide open for the touchdown.
Handoff is to Stephen Davis. First run of this 2nd half. And it's Datwin again, the first to get there and bring him down.
You know, Datwin is like a running back when he blitzes. He looks like he is running through a hole and dodging people and making a move the way that a running back does. And they just can't get a block on the guy. He runs up, he's almost impossible to block. Little guy, he's 5'11", 240 pounds, but very, very quick in there.
Certainly not a typical Bill Parcells linebacker. Undersized middle linebacker. He's had a big game.
He's had a big year.
2nd down and 11. Delhomme lets it fly, and the pass is picked off by Newman. Terrence Newman made a play, and the rookie comes up with the interception. That's his 2nd of the season.
And Joe, there was something wrong there with the routes, because you have Steve Smith and Muhsin Muhammad both basically going to the same spot. You're going to see it right here. There's no separation in the routes, and the one who's covering Muhsin Muhammad is the one who makes the interception when they're trying to throw it to Steve Smith.
That may be reviewed. We'll find out when we come back. Interlude, we have determined that this ball moves once it hits the ground, and this one may be overturned.
Well, it didn't even look like he fully had his hands on it when it did hit the ground. Now, granted, the ball can hit the ground as long as he's got complete possession of the ball, but it appears that the ball is moving, therefore it should be incomplete.
Let me ask you this, though, Troy, because his elbow hit the ground first. That means you're down, and he had possession at that point, or did the ball come out when it hit the ground or when the elbow hit the ground?
Well, it's the same thing that happens with a receiver. You have to maintain possession throughout the process of going down to the ground. So even though his elbow may have hit first, that won't go into the decision as to whether or not he had possession of the ball.
You know what was interesting is I think they were trying to throw the ball to Steve Smith, and Mario Edwards, to me, looked like he interfered with Smith as the ball was coming down, and Newman, who was guarding Muhsin Muhammad on the play, right here is what I believe is going to be pass interference, and knocks Steve Smith off of his route, and so he doesn't have an opportunity, and that allows Newman to spin back around and make the play.
Well, either way, it looked like Muhsin Muhammad was wrong. Someone was wrong, whether it was Steve Smith or Muhsin Muhammad, in that they ran the wrong route. There should never be two receivers within 5 yards of where the ball's being thrown.
Now, if this is overturned, it'll be 3rd down and 11 for Carolina at their own 45. Otherwise, obviously, it's 1st and 10 for Dallas at their own 24. But I think, while this is certainly not clear-cut, this is a call that should be overturned.
Well, I think so. And the other thing, I mean, isn't it supposed to be 90 seconds that they get to review these plays? I mean, what's the time frame on this? It seems like it gets more and more every time they get their head under the hood.
Well, he's been under there since we were in the commercial break.
And that's part of the reason why I'm not in favor of instant replay, is that it completely breaks down the flow of a game for these players.
The other part of it might be Ed Hockley asking, all right, we're going to overturn it. Where should the ball be for Carolina?
After reviewing the play, as the player comes down with the ball in his hands, the ball hits the ground and moves out of the left hand up against his chest. Therefore, he did not maintain possession of the ball when he hit the ground. By rule, the pass is incomplete.
Ed, we told him that 30 seconds ago.
3rd and 11. 3rd down and 11.
And they did get the spot correct. It is 3rd down and 11, and the Dallas defense will have to come back onto the field.
But you do have to say instant replay works, because in that situation, you're going to give the ball to the other team, where after you get a chance to look at it, you know it wasn't their ball.
I think I'll be more inclined to say it works when they start talking about reviewing pass interference, which is what we talked about earlier. Talk about a huge play in this game. If on Monday Mike Pereira can call a coach up and say, you know what, we made the wrong call, should never have been pass interference, then why can't they do it during the course of the game?
You're preaching to the choir on that one.
It's 3rd down and 11 for the Carolina Panthers. Blitz. Delhomme has it knocked out of his hand. Roy Williams looking for the end zone. Roy Williams will be brought down at the 10. Abagu got a hand on it, and Roy Williams comes down with his 2nd pick of the season.
And now Carolina wishes they hadn't had instant replay as well.
Eric Abagu, now for the 2nd time in this game, we've seen somebody go after Jake Delhomme, just coming right off the outside here. He's not going to go for the sack, going to go for the ball. It shoots straight up in the air, and Roy Williams makes the play.
Good work by Jordan Gross, the rookie, the #1 pick out of Utah. He was the one that got in the way and prevented Roy Williams from literally walking into the end zone.
Yeah, and this defense, not having given up a touchdown following a turnover, they're going to be tested right here.
Carolina defense, to restate, has not allowed a touchdown this season after the offense turns it over. Hambrick and the Cowboys trying to change it. He's down to the 5.
That's the best running play we've seen out of the Cowboys all day. It looked like an old style Emmitt Smith power football, push somebody off the ball, and the Cowboys have been desperate for something like that.
I know Troy Hambrick hasn't really been the back that they hoped that he would, but Bill Parcells certainly not disappointed in his performance, knowing that Troy Hambrick is what he is. He's not going to be a back like what Emmitt Smith was. He's going to get what they give him.
This will be the 17th opportunity for this defense for Carolina to stand tall. Looking for Robinson into the end zone for the touchdown. The $1 million long snapper comes up with his first catch of the year.
And I tell you what, that was a great throw by Quincy Carter, because if he doesn't throw it anywhere, if he throws it anywhere other than where he did, that ball is probably going to be intercepted. And Jeff Robinson, who is not really regarded as a tight end who's going to go out for routes, you're going to see him right here. He's going to go to the back of the end zone. Quincy Carter gets it up high, the only place he could throw it. Great throw, great catch.
How about the call by Joe Buck, knowing the long snapper was the one catching? I was looking all over my board.
17-10. Robinson, a former defensive lineman, now known for being one of the best long snappers in the league. Used to do this for St. Louis. First catch of the season.
That's how he knew. St. Louis.
Cowboys up by. And what a time for his first catch of the season.
He looks like George Clooney, doesn't he?
A larger.
Much
George
larger.
Clooney. With bigger burns. Smart. Carolina gets a good return from Rod Smart. They will mark him down at the 34.5. A celebration from Jeff Robinson. He remembered how to do that. On first down, Stephen Davis nowhere to go. Abagu, who forced that turnover on the last series, is the first to get his hands on Stephen Davis. Well, Carolina comes into today's game, in essence, the top seed in the NFC. Dallas, a 7-3 record. They defeated Philadelphia earlier this season here in Dallas. Tied with the Eagles atop the NFC East, and those two teams meet in a couple of weeks.
And you'd have to flip-flop those two teams if they end up with the same record if the Cowboys win based on the head-to-head.
Well, if they do, that December 7th game against Philadelphia is going to be huge.
Second down and 10. Delhomme and the Panthers probably thinking we got Dallas right where we want him, as Muhsin Muhammad makes the catch. He's brought down inside the 30 by Woodson.
And this really is what Jake Delhomme, the route that he seems to throw the best, is this seam route. We've seen it time after time, and Muhsin Muhammad is going to get up the field vertically, and Jake Delhomme has great anticipation and just a tremendous catch by Muhsin Muhammad. Of course, Muhsin Muhammad coming off the big game last week, and as Jake Delhomme said, it was really nice for his confidence to get him more involved in the offense as far as catching balls.
I'll tell you what else he said about Muhsin Muhammad after this first down play. They hand it to Smith, has blocking in front of him, and he is out of bounds with a first down, forced out by Edwards. I thought, guys, what Delhomme said about Muhsin Muhammad, who's the top guy salary cap figure-wise, with $6 million next to his name on the ledger. Delhomme said this guy is the best blocking receiver. He doesn't complain about not getting the ball. He does everything he can to help us win, and that's why he was so glad that Muhammad had that big day last week.
Absolutely, and to me, that's the most unselfish act that a wide receiver can do, is to get involved in the running game and be a good blocker, and that's what Muhsin Muhammad has done. And then when you consider the fact that just in 2000, this guy had 102 receptions, and now he's playing in an offense where he's not getting a lot of opportunities. They don't throw the ball that much, and yet he has put his ego aside, and he's done everything he can to help this team win.
That being said, with Keyshawn Johnson in the studio back in Los Angeles at Fox.
Keyshawn's a heck of a blocker. You can say whatever you want about the guy, but he does block.
7:49 remaining in the third quarter. Woodson had to check out. Dixon is in. Woodson banged up on that last play. And it's DeLone back to throw. Over the middle, his receiver fell down and a flag is thrown. That's Big Mangum, or actually Seidman, the tight end. The first time DeLone has thrown his way all day. And Dixon, who just came into the lineup for the Dallas Cowboys, has a flag thrown right at him.
And there was
Pass
just
interference, defense, number 24. The ball was placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
It was just a collision, and I don't know that anybody was really at fault as to why that collision happened or why Seidman went to the ground. But Tony Dixon has just as much a right to the path of the ball as what Mike Seidman does.
I thought, if anything, it looked like Dat Nguyen grabbed and held him, but the pass interference was a tougher call.
So the ball is at the 1. Carolina down by 7. Wide open is Hoover, the fullback, for the touchdown. And as the Panthers have done all season, second half points, they fall behind and immediately come back, and with the extra point coming, are about to tie it.
Well, we talked about it. I mean, this is a team that has been in this situation so many times, and they're not intimidated by it. You're talking about a close ball game, and because they're 6-0 in games decided by 3 points or less, they believe that they can continually come back and keep themselves in these ball games.
Casey has not missed an extra point this season. And it's 17-17. Halfway through the third quarter. Hoover is into the end zone. His first touchdowns by Carolina in this game, and both touchdown drives have included one big pass play, a huge pass interference call, and then a 1-yard touchdown. First it was a run by Davis, this time a 1-yard pass to Hoover. And it's 17-17. Sauerbrunn is now kicking off, and he gets into a good one. This is Ross. Already has his 37-yard return in this game, and Ross is out. Knocked down across the 35 at the 36. The Cardiac Cats, that's what they call the Carolina Panthers. And if you go back to the 1980 Cleveland Browns, the Cardiac Kids, led by league MVP Brian Sipe, won 11-5 that year and won the AFC Central. And you look at what the Carolina Panthers have done under John Fox, even more impressive. How about overtime wins, 3-0, all 3 on the road?
And I think that's probably the most impressive.
Carter to throw on first down, and he slings it to Glenn, somehow able to make the catch. He's brought down a yard shy of a first down.
Much better that time by Terry Glenn. Very patient route, working against Terry Cousin. Just going to come up. No, he has lots of time. Man coverage on the outside. Plenty of time to set him up and get the separation. That's what we haven't been seeing. I think for Terry Glenn, it's really been an asset today to have Joey Galloway back on the field. He doesn't have to be the #1 guy anymore.
Handoff is to Hambrick. Room to run, has a first down at midfield. Inches onto the other side of the 50-yard line, and let's go all the way out to Los Angeles for a game break.
Hey, Joe, take a look. You know, obviously, Terrell Owens loves to play with Tim Rattay. Rattay's third start, third straight game with a touchdown by Terrell Owens. That one a 24-yarder on a 4th and 3. And it's 17-10. San Francisco has narrowed the gap back to Joe Buck.
JB, thanks. Hi, my name's Dennis Erickson, and I've got a problem with my quarterbacks on my hands. Over the middle, it's Glenn. Absolutely left alone, and he's got a first down at the 25.
And because the Cowboys were able to come back and start to get the running game going a little bit, it is now starting to take Carolina. You're going to see the safety here working up, and as a result, you get the one-on-one on the outside and along the inside as well, and that's what created the big void for Dallas to throw the football. I know, talking to Sean Payton, he said we've got to be able to take advantage when we get one-on-one in our passing game, and they were able to there.
Both offenses seem to have really adjusted at halftime. No penalty flag on the snap as Witten makes the catch, and he's forced out of bounds at the 18.
Well, you know, so much was made about Quincy Carter and his inability, and was he losing it? Remember, this was the #1 offense in football for 4 weeks. just a 50 quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions the last 4 games. But he was playing against some great defenses. All top 10, Tampa, Buffalo, New England. So it wasn't like he was playing against a bunch of slouches out there.
2nd down and 3. Handoff is to Hambrick. And Troy Hambrick continues to fight. He gets it down to the 15-yard line, and it depends on the spot. Who knew after week 4 that this Dallas offense would be ranked 1st in the NFL? And you see that there has been a slide ever since.
Yeah, and the reason for that, Joe, is early on teams were trying to stop the run, and they were going one-on-one with these 3 wide receivers. And then I think teams began to realize we can stop the run with a 7-man front, and we're not going to give up the big play to these guys. And ever since that change of defensive philosophy, this offense has had problems.
Now it's 3rd down and inches. Bill Parcells' offense will run it right into that, as he called it, best front 4 in football. How about that? An option play from Richie Anderson to Kayson for the touchdown.
How about that indeed? Well, so much for Bill Parcells being too conservative. Going to make the underneath handoff and then just be able to pitch it on an option play to the outside. Richie Anderson's one of those guys that is so versatile. Great in the passing game, good blocker, just brings so much to an offense. That's why Parcells wants him around.
Right back down the field. Kayson in for the score. Off the pitch from Richie Anderson. And onto the face of Sean Payton. 4:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Smart from outside the 10 to outside the 30. Going to be brought down at the 31.5. And now there's a little fight that breaks out. Hankton, one of the receivers, and Roy Williams. It's now a 10-point game, Seattle and Baltimore. Let's go back to the genesis of that little scrap down there.
I still can't get over the fact Bill Parcells on 3rd and inches comes up with a play like that. Even Roger Staubach would have liked that one.
How good is that?
Touched by greatness up here in the Fox booth.
Absolutely.
Staubach checks in. 1st down for Carolina. Delhomme drops it off to Davis. And Stephen Davis is out just shy of the 39. Newman on the tackle. And a gain of 7 on 1st down.
And a nice block there by Geno James, getting out and protecting Jake Delhomme and allowing him to even get that pass off.
Looked like he got away with a little bit of a hold there as he made the move back inside. Let's get Roger Staubach on here. Can we get, I'll tell you what, come here, Roger.
2nd down and 3. Hand off to Davis, and Stephen Davis moves ahead for a 1st down for Carolina. Chris Collinsworth is gracious enough to hand off the headset to Roger Staubach.
So what do you think of the game so far?
Well, it's
somebody turn on Chris Collinsworth's headset.
It's a very good game so far. He's throwing some good passes.
Can we hear him?
I can't hear him.
We can't hear his greatness.
Chris, I mean, he gives up the headset, but he unplugged it before he did it.
That's the oldest trick in broadcasting.
Handoff is to Davis. And the Dallas defense stands up. Now I have a feeling, Roger, we're going to be able to hear you.
Troy was asking me if it was it's an exciting game. Actually, we're hosting a lot of people from Carolina, so I wanted to get out of our booth over there because it wasn't a lot of fun with those guys over there.
Yeah, that's the businessman that comes out in you. I mean, your Dallas Cowboys go ahead.
Right.
The Carolina crowd that you bring in, you just want to excuse yourself.
He's a little bit like Jerry Jones. When he gets tough, you're going to be down there on the sidelines before long.
That's right.
It's 2nd down for Carolina. Down by 7. Steve Smith. Good move by Smith down the sideline. He's got a first down. And Roger, I don't know if we know how to react to this game, because all of a sudden what was a defensive struggle is opened up.
Yeah, both defenses have played great all year, and both the quarterbacks are making plays. Quincy's thrown the ball well. He throws the ball hard. He's maturing, and I like him, and he's doing some good things today. And their running game is, they've made some plays when they've had to, but their defense has been the key to the season, and now offensively they can win games when Quincy's on.
I tell you this, you guys know certainly way better than I, as Delhomme hands off to Davis. Quarterbacks earn their stripes by getting their team down the field in the fourth quarter and coming up with big scores. And Jake Delhomme has done that for the Carolina Panthers this season. Now it's going to be interesting to see, when given the opportunity, if Quincy Carter can do that for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, and I think Roger would agree. I think you can't say quarterbacks are just here to manage games. At some point, quarterbacks got to help your team win games, right, Roger?
Yeah, that's correct. Of course, last year the Carolina, they couldn't do it. This year they are doing it, and the quarterback has made the difference. And Quincy needs that type of game, and today it's going to be tight all the way down the wire today.
2nd down and 6. Delhomme buys a little time and fires. Just got rid of it. Roger Staubach, thanks for checking in. It's a pleasure to have you on.
I'm excited about Cowboy football. Since Troy was here, I've been kind of asleep. Now I'm back into it.
By the way, Roger Staubach in with us, and Chris will jump back on headset. And Chris, you said a while ago, I guess it was at the half or the early moments of the third quarter, maybe these are the two best teams in the NFC.
Yeah, they certainly are playing like it right now. This is probably the most entertaining football game we've seen all season.
Well, who would have thought coming into this game that here we would be in the third quarter with a 24-17 score based on these two defensive teams.
3rd down and 6. Pass is incomplete. Muhammad fell down, and Delhomme is screaming for a flag, won't get it. 4th and 6.
I'll tell you, it was a great play on the outside by Al Singleton, the linebacker that the Cowboys picked up from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That looked like one of those play fakes that was going to allow the tight end to just pop wide open, but the veteran all over it on the outside, and Delhomme really nowhere to throw the football. Right out here on the outside, this thing looks like it's just going to pop, but Al Singleton read it perfectly and took away the first read.
So a punt from Sauerbrunn. 51 seconds remaining. No punt. He's going to look to throw. Flips it up, and it's incomplete. Well covered by the Cowboy defense.
That looked like one of my passes.
Abagu was the one who had pressure on Sauerbrunn, and then just a quail that was sent up by the punter.
Well, sometimes you draw them up and they just don't come up in the game the way that you hope that they will, and that was one of those times. And Sauerbrunn, he just gets under pressure, and none of the guys that he's wanting to try to get the ball to are able to even get out clean, and that's why there was nobody there to try to make the play.
Well, if this is a game of field position, and if this is, I mean, I know that the offenses have stepped up here in the second half, but turning it over on downs, and they have a penalty flag now laying on the field. We'll get the call from Ed Hockley. That's a strange at best call by the Panthers.
It was an ineligible receiver downfield by the offense on the play. That penalty is declined. The Dallas's ball, 1st down.
I mean, you have a chance to pin Quincy Carter and this Cowboys offense back near their own end zone. You've got a great punter in Sauerbrunn, and you have him throw a pass.
Well, it's one of those plays that teams used to put in to try and get pass interference calls. Obviously, as you're playing bump and run on the guy and trying to block him down the field, you get pass interference calls on it, but you can no longer do that on the wide guy. It's a rule change. The wide guy on the outside can't be called for pass interference.
Yeah, Joe, I think your point's well made. Probably should have punted on that one.
Buckner came across the line awfully quick. He may have drawn a penalty flag as the pass is complete to Campbell with the third quarter winding down. The clock will stop, and they are going to get
offside. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
That's Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, who Bill Parcells kept on when he took this job, and boy, He glad he did.
He really is. He told us yesterday he was glad that he decided to retain Mike Zimmer, and what a great job Mike Zimmer has done. They kept the same system in place that Mike Zimmer used when he was coaching under Dave Campo, but as Bill Parcells will tell you, he influenced Mike Zimmer to be a little bit more aggressive in his approach. But Mike Zimmer's done a heck of a job with this team.
First down and 5. This could be the final play of what has been an electric third quarter. Rolling to his right, Galloway with a catch, and he hops out of bounds with a first down. And Carter has made some good throws in this second half, getting the Cowboys up and down the field.
And I think it goes back again, Joe, to what you said as far as them just punting. They're on fourth down. When you look back to what the Cowboys were able to do on the previous offensive possession, they had some success. They moved the football, they got down, and they scored the touchdown. They had some momentum going on their side. I would have agreed trying to push them back in there and then pin them down in there towards their own area.
Well, that was a very big third quarter for Quincy Carter, trying to prove something to this home Dallas crowd. The offense for each side has stepped it up this season defensively. Now the offense, and Quincy Carter, who has completed 5 consecutive passes, goes to work on first down. Play action. 6 in a row. This time it's Campbell, and he's got a first down, still going. Down to the 33.
We have seen the Cowboys use this on several occasions. They send all the receivers down the field, block Dan Campbell, keep him in, and then just slip him out late. As soon as Peppers goes by, he comes out, he counts 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, and then takes off down the field. Good job by Quincy Carter as well, just being patient.
And it's another way to try to slow down this defensive pass rush, a little bit like a screen, only it's a one-man screen because he shows blocking and then goes out.
Carter fires, and it's incomplete, nearly picked off by Manning, and Galloway was held. Galloway asking for a flag, and he's saying, if I wasn't held, why is my shirt hanging over my shoulder pad? Right there.
No
Minter
question about it.
grabbed his jersey.
Well, pass interference calls and non-pass interference calls. The story today, all the pass interference calls seem to be going Carolina's way, and the ones that they miss are against the Cowboys.
One of them working in the Cowboys' favor. Eventually, as Hambrick takes it on a handoff running right. Hambrick is brought down at the 31. Take a look at the offensive leaders for the Dallas Cowboys. It seems like something's clicked here in the second half for Quincy Carter, and if nothing else, there's a little more confidence, an air of confidence about Carter right now.
Yeah, I agree, Joe, and I think there's a little bit more urgency with this football team, and I don't know what Bill Parcells said to this group at halftime, but since they came out, it appears that Troy Hambrick is running the ball a lot harder than what he was, and it seems like Quincy Carter is seeing things better than what he did earlier in the game.
3rd down and 7. Carter fires, and it's incomplete. Glenn tried for the diving grab. It'll be 4th down.
That was a poor throw that time by Quincy Carter. He had him. Terry Glenn made a nice move, got inside his guy. That should be a relatively easy pitch and catch, and now you end up in 4th down.
And you saw the look on Bill Parcells' face. He knew it as well. Quincy's not the most accurate guy. He has a tendency to make these receivers work to catch the ball, but in his defense today, he still has had a number of drops. That one, not one of them.
1 for 1 today is Cundiff. 49-yard try. It's long enough. It is no good. Wide right.
And that makes Parcells sick because he knows now that the field position has just shifted back to Carolina.
Panthers get it back. Cundiff pushes it right. And the Panthers have it down 7. Defense. Dallas on defense, up by 7. Toss to Davis. Stephen Davis. Not much. That win again was there for Dallas, a gain of 2.
Can't beat him to the corner. And remember, Stephen Davis was a sprint champion in high school. He won the 100 meters in high school, so it's not like this is some 240-pound back that can't run to the corner. Dat Nguyen's just beating him there all day.
This Cowboys defense really based on speed, and in fact John Fox told us yesterday that he didn't feel like anybody had really tried pounding the ball at this Dallas defense, and that's what they intended to do. They're not going to get much if they try to run to the perimeters.
Second down and 7. Delhomme fires, and it is caught. A fantastic catch. Muhsin Muhammad, coming off that big week last week, comes down with it, and somehow fighting for it, gets it from Mario Edwards.
I think Mario Edwards is saying the same thing. How in the world did he catch this ball? Because they run the slant and go, and Mario's in pretty good position right there, seeing the ball, thinks he's got a chance to come down with it himself or at least knock it out. But Muhsin Muhammad goes up over the top and somehow comes down with the grab.
Pretty good touch pass from Delhomme, and an even better catch from Muhsin Muhammad from the 35. Play clock is at 1 when that ball was snapped, and it's batted back. Greg Ellis and Leroy Glover were there, and it looked like Ellis was the one who got his hands up.
And it's a good thing that he was, because Steve Smith was out in the flat once again. They had Mario Edwards picked once more, coming across in motion. This is a play they'll probably come back to. It forces Edwards to go around the back. It's been there all day for them.
They love to get it in the hands of Smith, the good punt returner in the open field. He wore out Rondé Barber 2 weeks ago. Stephen Davis gets nothing on second down.
Ebenezer Ekubon that time crashing down from his in position, and Ekubon certainly has not had a stellar season this year as far as the pass rush is concerned. Still solid against the run, but I would think, Troy, that that's a position they'll probably take a look at in the offseason.
Yeah, and then you look at Carolina, what they're trying to do in the running game, and they're trying everything. I mean, they're trying to run the ball at them. They're trying to run some traps. They're trying to run it outside, and they've just not been able to get Stephen Davis untracked in this game, averaging only 2.2 yards per carry.
Panthers are inside Casey's field goal range as Delhomme puts it up, looking for Prohl, and overthrowing Ricky Prohl.
It's the exact same route that they tried to work against the Dallas Cowboys last week in New England. It was blitz coverage, no help whatsoever down the field. Going to come up and try and cross it over here. They chose to go the deep route. Remember the one Terrence Newman had last week. And John Fox knew that that was their opportunity. He needed that. I think he wanted some pass interference too.
Let me just ask the question before the kick. How healthy is John Casey? Run into by Terrence Newman earlier in the game. Sauerbrunn has been kicking off lately, and Casey pushed it wide left. Casey has missed now for the 3rd time this season. It's still a 7-point game after the Casey miss. The ball is at the 43-yard line. Carter, that's Anderson. The fullback, in name only, makes the catch and runs it down inside Carolina territory to the 43. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, as you know, offense and the Cowboys have been pretty much a contradiction in terms the last several weeks. But joking with Quincy Carter before the game, I said, you guys going to put up some points? You're going to move the ball what? Well, they got 24 points already. And Quincy says, now is the time for us to get back to basics, to get simple again, to do the kind of things that we did in training camp. He says, especially with the defenses that we're about to face, starting with Carolina and then Miami and then Philly. He says those are 4-3 offenses, and we got to start keeping it simple.
Play action. And a penalty flag comes down, maybe on a hold. Gerard was back there defending. Buckner was coming on the rush. And I believe that's where the foul occurred.
Holding offense number 65, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And Andre Gerard, he has had some of these breakdowns throughout the season, and they really felt that he would be a much more consistent player than what he's been so far this year. But he, as you can see the hand there on the chest of Brenson Buckner, and boy, they started out this drive and had good field position and looked like they may be able to do something with it, but now because of that holding penalty, now they're backed up.
First down and 20. Looked like the left tackle, Flozell Adams, got into
Before the ball was snapped, ball start, offense number 76. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Got into that pass set a little too soon, and Bill Parcells is watching his offense go backward.
And I think Quincy Carter was checking out the possibility of that corner blitz at the top of his screen, trying to just take his time a little bit and see how that thing was developing, and maybe the change in the rhythm threw off Flozell Adams.
Minnesota just went up by 3 on Detroit late in the fourth quarter. First and 25. Screen for Hambrick. Going to try the other side of the field. Finally will cut it up and get back to the line of scrimmage. How about a second half recap? That tipped pass into the arms of Roy Williams, and the touchdown throw to Jeff Robinson. The pass interference call in the end zone leads to the 1-yard touchdown throw to Brad Hoover. On an option play from Anderson to Cason, a 16-yard touchdown run, and it's been all smiles in this second half for the offensive coaches along the Dallas sideline. And you see that final up in the top right of your screen. Green Bay with a 20-10 win over San Francisco. Carter steps up and fires, has Glenn.
Wow.
And Glenn out of bounds.
Oh. Wow, what a throw by Quincy Carter.
Now they're going to change the call. They're going to change the call and call it a completion.
He threw that one into a hat box there. That was just a total rope. You had the corner dropping back. You had the safety coming over. You had a collision about to happen, and he had to get it right in between them. That ball never got higher than about 10 yards off the ground. Just ripped it in there. Good job by the officials to get that one right.
Sure was, and what a great job by Quincy Carter. And we talked about it coming into the game, that at some point he was going to have to step up and make plays for this offense. And he has done that throughout the game today. The only interception that he has was on the Hail Mary there at the end of the half.
And now Carolina is so messed up, they have too many guys on the field, and they're going to have to burn one of their timeouts.
So a 3rd down and 5. The banners from 92, 93, 95. Sparkling in the sun, and down below on a chilly day in Dallas, Texas, the Cowboys trying to serve notice to the rest of the league that this offense isn't a pushover. It's 3rd down and 5. Carter going to try and run for it, and he ran into Larry Allen. It looked like Carter had room to pick up the first down, and he ran smack into the back of Larry Allen, and he falls shy of first down yardage by 3 yards.
Quincy just going to step up. Julius Pepper is going to fall off and end up making this play, but if Larry Allen wasn't quite as wide as he is, maybe Quincy could have gotten around him. But when you hit Larry Allen, you don't go anywhere. I don't care if you're playing offense or defense. And I am going to be shocked if Bill Parcells is going for this one.
Well, get ready to be shocked.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go for it. He might try and hard count something here.
Panthers have been quick to jump a couple of times in this game. Chris is shocked, and the pass is nearly picked off, but a penalty flag. That was Terry Cousin who nearly came away with the interception, and we'll check the call.
And even if he had completed the pass, it wouldn't have been a first down. So the
pass
only
interference, defense number 21. Ball placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
The only way that ends up being a first down is if it's pass interference. The first down marker is beyond that line that you're seeing right there. Just grabbed him.
You can see the bottom of the jersey on the left side, the left hip. Cousin got a hold of it and held on.
Well, Chris, you said it earlier, and there's no question that pass interference, the story of the game, the ones that Carolina has had go against them and the ones that the Cowboys have not had called against them.
On first down. Penalty flag on that throw. And it is a tripping against Dallas. So it has been pass first and run second for the Cowboys in this second half.
And Bill Parcells has to be just beside himself. They finally catch a break. And
Tripping. Offense, number 42. Stuck his leg out. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Hambrick. Dallas last week, 10 penalties, 78 yards. Hurt their chances at New England.
Well, he gets the leg up, and I don't think he was really trying to get him down with the leg on a leg whip, but that's what they saw and that's what they called. And it's a little surprising, too, because Troy Hambrick has turned in to be a heck of a blocker in pass protection.
it just wasn't necessary. It wasn't even needed. I think he was just trying to finish the play.
So on first and 20. Pass is caught. That's Terry Glenn, who's had some big receptions in this second half. Let's go for a game break and go out to JB.
Strong game by Donovan McNabb. 4 plays, 58 yards. Capitalizing, culminates with his John Ritchie 2-yard reception. 16 of 25 for 259 yards and a touch by McNabb today. 33-14. And then with Detroit looking to try to go ahead in Minnesota, Corey Chavis picks off Joey Harrington, takes it in for the score. Lions looking at their 22nd straight road loss. Back to Joe Buck.
So Minnesota right now 6-4, looking at 7-4. A game better than Green Bay, who we will have on Fox on Thanksgiving. That's Kason with a reception to the 30. So far in this second half, the Cowboys have passed 9 times on first down and run only 3 times.
Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
Sure.
I think they knew early on in that first half they were struggling so much running the football that they wanted to try to do what they could to open things up and give themselves at least a chance to get some points. But going back to that Philly game, boy, if Philly wins this game, which it looks like they're going to, then Dallas, if they're able to hang on and win this one, boy, that really muddies the waters here in the NFC.
Carter going to run. Lunges and comes up a yard shy of a first down.
Now,
Cousin with a strong tackle to prevent a big first down.
if he went for it last time, no, here they come. Little field goal effort this time.
Cundiff missed on a 49-yard try as last time. They're going to spot it down at the 34, so a 44-yard try. Carolina's been good at blocking kicks. Just ask the Tampa Bay Bucks. This one is pushed right again.
Now that is the Carolina Panthers season right there. Every time they need to catch a break, they catch a break. John Fox, Jake Delhomme, they're still alive and kicking.
So Cundiff has hit on a 24-yarder, missed on a 49-yarder, and now a 44-yard attempt, again pushed right. Carolina has it at their own 34. Bruce DeHaven, after that second consecutive miss by Cundiff, over to pat him on top of the helmet.
I bet you Parcells didn't pat him on the helmet.
No.
Softly.
6 minutes, 3 seconds remaining. Carolina with the ball down 7. An all-out blitz by Dallas. That leaves Newman deep, and it's Smith on the reception. And Newman came up, then tried to recover, and Steve Smith has a huge reception for the Carolina Panthers. 40-plus yards.
And the only time Dallas has really gotten in trouble is when they've gone to this zero coverage. There's no safety in the middle, and it's just flat out one-on-one. And if you get time to throw, if they don't get to the quarterback, it really puts these corners out on an island. And you're going to see Steve Smith sees the ball, Terrence Newman turns around, tries to locate it, and when he does, it creates the separation for Steve Smith to go up and make the play.
Why, though? Why would you leave a rookie cornerback with a 7-point lead out there on an island like that?
42-yard completion. Delhomme fires, corner of the end zone. And the pass is incomplete.
Boy, that is really
looking
close.
for the flag on Edwards.
I was looking myself. From here, it looked like it was as much pass interference as anything else we've seen today. Got Mario Edwards working against him and got his arm on him. He does get his head turned around, which is probably what the official saw to
but
keep
look
calling
at
it.
look at the pressure, Troy, with that left
agree.
arm by Mario Edwards. He is pushing him out of bounds. That is pass interference.
5:09 left, 2nd and 10.
I still think they should be able to review it.
Davis comes back in the backfield and gets it on a handoff from Delhomme. The pursuit is there for Dallas, and Davis is popped out of bounds. No flag. Mario Edwards on the stop.
You know, Jake Delhomme just continues his magical ways, though. We've seen it from the very first game that he played in Jacksonville. They were way behind in this game. He brought his team all the way back, hit the touchdown to Ricky Prohl. Now you go back the last 2 weeks of the season, beating Tampa Bay with a last-minute pass to Steve Smith. And then the final drive as well culminated by Stephen Davis's touchdown, but it was really Jake Delhomme throwing him down the field that set it up.
3rd and 8. Blitz again from Dallas. Delhomme throws, a ton of contact and a penalty flag. And again, it's the rookie Newman one-on-one with Muhsin Muhammad.
And again, Joe, it's the zero coverage with no help, man-to-man, all-out blitz.
Defense, number 41. Ball placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
And I think Terrence Newman is a heck of a player, and he's going to be a great player in this league, but he had troubles last week when they went to this, when he was one-on-one, and now we've seen it here again today. And again, Jake Delhomme gets enough time, throws it up in the air, and then there's contact along the right side.
No question. We've questioned a few calls. That one is an easy one. You stop up, you make the play, and I don't understand this whole play calling. You've got them backed up. They have to go 70 yards to beat you, and you're going to let them play one-on-one on the outside and make plays? I don't get it.
That was on 3rd and 8. Davis with Glover there to make the stop, a gain of 3.
I think what happens there on 3rd down, the thought is you bring pressure on the quarterback, bring more than they can block. The quarterback then they're going to throw a shorter route. But what Carolina has done is rather than throw the hitch or rather than throw the slant, they've decided to just throw it up, and it's worked very well for them.
Just like New England did last week. So I would have thought the Cowboys would have backed off of some of those plans after getting burned a week ago.
Movement along the line of scrimmage, and Stussy has had a rough day with that.
False start offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Mike Zimmer's done a lot of great things with his defense this year, and I don't dispute that at all. But I just think that when you're in this kind of a game, and I know you don't want to get backed up and play that prevent defense, but there's a difference between blitzing and all-out blitzing. And when you go all-out blitzing, it puts those young cornerbacks, especially your rookie cornerback, Terrence Newman, in a really, really tough position.
They're playing coverage here.
2nd down and goal. Delhomme fires in the pass, incomplete. That's Coakley on coverage with Ricky Prohl, the intended receiver.
And Troy, I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought the easiest thing to do was to throw one-on-one routes. When there's a young quarterback in the game, you want him back there reading defenses, watching defenders switch off like they did that time, as opposed to creating one-on-one situations. That's like going back to the schoolyard.
Yeah, I used to love it when defenses came after us, because as a quarterback, especially when you're talking about a young quarterback, you know exactly what you have, and nobody's going to surprise you and jump in front of the throwing lanes.
3rd and goal. Delhomme hit as he let it go. 4th down.
So they give up the big plays with the zero coverage, with the man coverage. They drop back into a zone look 2 times in a row, and they make plays.
Carolina at this moment is going to go for it on 4th and goal.
Well, and that's probably the right decision with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, down by 7.
Now,
of course, now they're changing their mind. But even with the field goal here, they make it. They're still down 4. They still got to score a touchdown.
Better watch the fake.
29-yard try coming from Casey. And the play clock expires. So that little indecision cost him 5 yards.
Delay of game offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Now a 34-yard try. Casey is perfect in this range this season.
And I have to say, I think I would have gone for it here. I don't know what a field goal does for you in this situation. It gives you a chance to win the game on the back end.
Right.
But on the road, your first objective has to be to get the tie. And while you're down here this far, I would have gone for it.
They've got to get a touchdown whether they make this or not on their next possession.
And Casey is through to make it a 4-point game. And we will keep it right here. So now 3:47 left. Carolina has 2 timeouts remaining. They had to take one on defense. And the Dallas Cowboys look to get it back and, if nothing else, take time off the clock.
Yeah, and I think that the thought is that now down 4, that if you're going to get 2 more possessions, then that's okay. If you get down there and you get a field goal and then you get the ball again, then you have an opportunity to win the game with a field goal. But I don't know, with 3 minutes and 47 seconds left, with Dallas getting the kickoff here, if in fact Carolina will have 2 more offensive possessions to just try to settle for field goals.
Because to pick up on what you said before, even though it was 4th and goal from outside the 10, even if you don't make it, you're going to have to eventually get back in the end zone to tie the game. In this case, they're going to have to get in the end zone to take the lead.
Well, and the other thing is you're pinning them back. I mean, as a defensive team, the play calling is completely different for the Cowboys inside the 10. So you miss it, use your timeout, you're going to get the ball back around the 40-yard line. I just disagree with the decision.
So Sauerbrunn will kick it away, with Ross waiting deep for Dallas. Line drive kick, and it will go into the end zone. So Dallas will have it at their own 20 with 3:47 remaining, up by 4. And now the defense, which over the past couple of weeks has allowed 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns in each game, will try to get a stop to give the offense and Jake Delhomme a chance for more last-minute magic.
Yeah, and I think obviously Carolina has to step up here, and they've got to be able to make a play, and you want to stop Dallas and make them go 3 and out. And then if you're Dallas offensively, and more importantly if you're Quincy Carter, I think this is a chance for you to really kind of define yourself within this football team and try to run this clock all the way down.
They have to be bold here. They cannot be conservative.
Play action to start, and a throw to Richie Anderson over the middle.
I like the call. I really do. If they'd have lined up and tried to just pound it in there against this defense, they haven't been able to do it all day. I don't know why they'd be able to do it now. They come out, aggressive play call. Now you have the Carolina Panthers defensively not quite sure what the Cowboys are going to do.
Well, and Quincy has to understand that they're going to call some things down the field, but if it's not there, know that you can come down to your check down like he did on that last play and just stay ahead of the chains and keep it in manageable down and distance.
That hurts.
And that doesn't help keep you in manageable down and distances.
Before the ball was snapped, false start offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So in essence, they may as well have just ran the ball and not getting any yards there on 1st down, because that's now what they're going to be faced with on 2nd down and 2nd and 10.
Well, we talked about his big mistake earlier, fielding that punt on the 2-yard line. That was a bigger mistake, because 2nd and 5 is so much different in this situation than 2nd and 10.
On top of that, it stops the clock. 3:04 left in this 4th quarter. 2nd down and 10. Out of the backfield, it's Anderson. And he is flipped by Terry Cousin. In case you missed it earlier today.
So this whole thing is you and Gruden. He didn't respect you, and that's why you're here on this show today.
It's deeper than Keyshawn Johnson and John Gruden in that organization, too. Trust me on that one.
Conversation between Keyshawn Johnson, who has been deactivated for the rest of the season by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and our Fox NFL Sunday crew. It's 3rd down and 9. Play action. Carter has time. Penalty flag on the play. Carter is brought down, and there may be a face mask on the end of that play.
And there's pass interference on Joey Galloway as well. Will be called against the Carolina defense.
So 2 separate fouls on this play. And we'll get the call from Ed Hockley.
And don't forget, Carolina had to burn a timeout earlier because they had too many men on the field. So they only have 2 now.
There were 2 fouls by the defense on the play. Illegal contact, number 27. That penalty is declined. There was also a personal foul face mask, number 99. The penalty is enforced 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Big difference between the 15-yard variety and the 5-yard variety. And this 15 yards gives Dallas a first down all the way out at the 40-yard line.
And it's a good call because the tackle was made by the face mask. It wasn't one of those you get your hand on the face mask, you take it off. He brought him to the ground with the face mask. That's a 15-yard penalty.
12 penalties for Carolina and an extra 10 yards, and those yards are crucial right now for both Dallas and Carolina. 2:11 remaining in this 4th quarter.
So 1 more first down for the Cowboys, and it's game, set, and match.
Now they'll keep it on the ground. Hambrick is hit in the backfield. Tackle made by Greg Favors.
And they should call the timeout now before the 2-minute warning.
Instead, they let it tick down to 2 minutes left. The 2-minute warning. The Dallas Cowboys are trying to win for the timeouts left. Dallas looking for 10 yards and 1 more first down. Minnesota with the victory over Detroit. We'll have Minnesota next weekend in St. Louis. Green Bay won today at home over San Francisco on 2nd down. They go to the air, and it's a safe throw. And Anderson, they're going to give forward progress.
It's a good call.
You can't have both. They give forward progress. So even though he was forced out of bounds at the end of the play, the clock continues to run.
And that's going to force Carolina to burn their timeout. I think they thought that he went out of bounds and the clock would stop, but it did not.
If they give forward progress inbounds, what happens?
It up. That one for the touchdown. This Uncommon Perspective was brought to you by Wachovia. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. This is Ron Pitts for Tim Ryan and Jeff Grayson saying so long for Minnesota. We're
talk about that before.
Oh, yeah. Of course, we're referring to Jay Novacek, and they feel like this guy can be the next great receiving tight end, like what Novacek was. And, boy, he's made some key plays in the game today.
How about Quincy Carter, too? I mean, here's a guy that was really under siege in this town. Couple of shutouts in the last 4 games. Major questions about his ability. Has not played well, thrown a lot of interceptions over the last 4 games, and came out today and played one of the best football games I have ever seen him play.
And as we said when Roger Staubach was standing here, with the ball in your hands in the 4th quarter, whether it's getting a touchdown or getting first downs to take time off the clock, or in essence kill the clock, that's when the quarterback takes that next step. And these have been some big completions this second half for Quincy Carter.
You're absolutely right, Joe. And as we talked about earlier in the game as well, Jake Delhomme has done that for this Carolina team for the last couple of weeks. And Quincy Carter was able to do it today, and he's going to have to keep doing it if this team is going to continue to get to the next level and make an impact. But how about Bill Parcells and what he said to us the other day that if we're able to win this game here against Carolina, we're going to be awfully hard to keep out of the playoffs.
Put a gold star on the back of that win. What a game he had.
He really did. I thought he was the difference in this ball game defensively. Stephen Davis was trying to make runs to the outside, and every time he did, that win was there.
Asking his teammates who's number one. Right now, the number one seed in the NFC will be the Dallas Cowboys. Showed you what's coming up for the Dallas Cowboys. Now for Carolina. They host Philadelphia, and you see in the top right-hand corner of your screen, the Eagles just beat New Orleans. So that means that Dallas is 8-3, and the Eagles stay hot. They're 8-3, and they stay tied atop. But Dallas already has a victory over Philly earlier this season, and that project with Antonio Bryant continues for Bill Parcells on that sideline.
Well, these next 2 weeks for all three of these teams, but how about the next 2 weeks for Philadelphia Eagles? Playing Carolina and then playing in the rematch against the Dallas Cowboys.
Quincy Carter and the Dallas offense stepped up, played the game that Bill Parcells and the Cowboys needed them to play. In fact, Parcells brought the team together and wanted to make sure there was no dissension among the ranks between the defense and the offense because of how poorly the offense had been playing.
You know, I'm thinking we may get a chance to watch this one again. These two teams may meet again in the playoffs in the not too distant future, and if it's anything like this one, it'll be fun.
Let's go down to the field and say hi to Pam Oliver.
All right, Quincy, going to interrupt your conversation for a second, if you don't mind. A lot of people were saying, yeah, the Cowboys, but in big games, they don't come through. This was a different story for you guys today.
Well, you know, we haven't been so successful in big games, and today we really wanted to come out and make a point. Hey, we had 2 huge turnovers, though. You know, I really like the resiliency our offense showed today. We had a couple of errors in the kicking game, but we still kept bouncing back and kept fighting. It's a whole team effort, and I'm proud of everybody on my football team today.
All right, I'll let you go on with your congratulations. Thanks, Quincy. Back up to Joe.
All right, Pam, thanks. My football team, says Quincy Carter.
Ken Lucas with the tackle. But Wright has been impressive here. People wondered why he was promoted from third-team quarterback to the starter when Kyle Bowler went down by Brian Billick. And in this second half, he looks like the guy that Billick believed he could be.
Absolutely. Not only throwing the ball, Kurt, but he's had some nice scrambles as well. Boy, Dallas taking down Carolina. Man.
First down and goal to go. Right. Towards the corner of the end zone, throws it up high. Robinson.
Well played.
In a battle, Marcus Trufant not to.
Fine, he's got man-to-man coverage. It's all on the rookie first-round pick. Robinson wanted a pass interference.
He wanted a 4th touchdown is what he wanted. He's already got 3 today. Here's Wright. Quick pass. Threw it up too high. Robinson does get that 4th touchdown. 9 yards on the touchdown pass from Wright to Marcus Robinson. And the Ravens are right there with 1:12 left to play.
Rookie out of Oklahoma gains 4 yards down to the 25.
Looked like Lance Briggs, the rookie from
offside.
Chicago, was
Number
offside.
55 defense. 5-yard penalty.